Why are you hitting yourself? 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 Oh no, my reflexes. Hey, hey, hey. How is everybody? Folks, we're going to continue now in chapter 5 with the concept known as reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs. Why are you hitting yourself, Tim? Why are you hitting yourself? So this is a concept, folks, that sometimes is a little challenging for English speakers to understand because, well, I just don't know why, but it is. And what it actually means is when we're talking about actions that we perform on ourselves, that we do to ourselves. No one does it towards us or to us. So far in Spanish, here in Spanish 1, we've learned about actions that we do to other things or to other people. For example, I eat the pizza. Well, I am eating the pizza. I'm performing that action on something else. Or Susie studies French. Well, Susie studies French. She is doing something to something else. So those are the types of things that we've dealt with up to this point. But what happens when we are talking about actions that happen to ourselves or something that happens to one's self? So that's what we are going to be talking about today, reflexive verbs. Okay, so again, it may help in English for you to translate these, at least kind of have an idea in your mind that reflexive verbs can come across as myself, yourself, himself, herself, ourselves, themselves, oneself, and so on. Okay, so let's take a look. We're going to take a look now at the verb bañarse. Okay, bañarse. Okay, so we're looking at that verb. Now, first of all, what is probably the first thing that jumps out at you when you see that verb? Something that you have not seen in previous verbs this semester. What is it? You know what it is? Right, that's se. When you see se on the end of an infinitive like that, that simply is indicating that that verb is a reflexive verb. And in other words, that means that this verb is going to refer to actions that we do to ourselves. No one does these actions to us. We do them or we perform them on ourselves. But before we get into the reflexive aspect or the grammatical aspect of it, let's just look at the verb. Let me get my other color over here. All right. So we see the verb bañar. Just don't think about the SE on the end of it yet. We see bañar. And folks, I'm here to tell you today that bañar is a 100% completely regular verb. So you can deal with that just like you have any other AR verb like hablar or trabajar. So again, it's an AR verb. So let's just go through real quickly and conjugate this verb. So, yo baño, tú bañas, él baña. See how easy? Same endings, right, for AR verb. O, as, a. All right, over here, nosotros. All right, let me put it under here. Bañamos. See that? Easy. Ellos. Okay, and I'll put this one under it. Yeah. Bañan. All right. So again, guys, you see those endings? O, as, a, amos, an. O, as, a, amos, an. Those are the same endings that you've used for other AR verbs. So look, you've got this battle half fought. Now, if I leave the verb like it is right now, it is not a reflexive verb. It is just a regular verb like we've been dealing with so far all semester. So when I say yo baño, if that's how I say it, yo baño, what I am saying is that I bathe someone else or something else. Let's think, for example, like a baby a parent would have to bathe the baby. The baby could not bathe him or herself, right? So the way I have these listed right now, these are coming across as actions that we are doing to something or someone else, just like we have done all semester long. For example, él baña el perro. He bathes the dog. So he's doing something to something else, right? But the lesson today is not about us doing something to someone else. It's about us doing actions to ourselves. So instead of saying that I bathe the baby, I want to say that I bathe. In English, we can say I bathe, and that's understood that we're talking about we do that to ourselves, right? But it may help you to think of it in this way. I bathe myself. In other words, I do that action to myself. Nobody has to bathe me. I'm not an invalid, and I can use all of my arms, legs, and everything. I can do that to myself. So I bathe myself. Well, in Spanish, in order to indicate that we are performing an action on ourselves, we have to use what's called reflexive pronouns. And the reflexive pronouns are similar to what we see at the end of that infinitive up there, bañarse, the se. So watch this. Yo baño means I bathe someone else or something else. But if I do it to myself, then I'll say in Spanish, yo me baño. And you might not be able to see this on the board because I have the words all scrunched together, but each of those is a separate word, okay? Yo me baño. It's not one whole word, it's separate words. Yo me baño. I bathe myself. I go, I take a shower, I take a bath myself. I can do it myself. All right? Tú te bañas. Okay? You take a shower. You do it yourself. For example, if I ask you, do you bathe in the morning or at night? ¿Te bañas en la mañana o en la noche? Do you bathe in the morning or at night? Again, in English, we can say I bathe or I take a bath, and it's understood that we're doing it to ourselves. But in Spanish, we have to have that extra little oomph, the te or the me, for example, so we'll know that these are actions that we are performing on ourselves, okay? It may not seem like a big deal in English, but in Spanish it really is, okay? Right here, él se baña, okay? For example, if I would say, my wife takes a long bath, or she bathes for a long time. Mi esposa se baña por mucho tiempo. Okay? Or I said esposa, and I'm looking at the word he. Remember, esposa's wife, él is esposo, or él would be he, and ella would be she. So let's say he or she or Rosa or Roberto takes a long bath. Well, Rosa se baña. Or Robert takes a long bath. Roberto se baña. Roberto or él se baña. Or my wife, mi esposa. Mi esposa wouldn't be él, it would be what? Ella. Ella se baña. Okay? So again, indicating that someone is doing something to him or to herself. Right? Watch this. Let's say, I want to say that we all take a bath for a short amount of time. We don't take a bath very long. Nosotros no nos bañamos por mucho tiempo. Nosotros no nos bañamos por mucho tiempo. You could put a no in there if you wanted to say we don't take a long bath. Nosotros no nos bañamos. Or if you say that we take a long bath. Nosotros nos bañamos por mucho tiempo. Okay? Or we bathe for a long amount of time. Alright? So we're using that nos. And then finally, ellos se bañan. Ellos se bañan. Alright? Let's say, for example, that you're on some kind of sports team, or there are a bunch of people on a sports team, and before they leave a game or go home, they all go to the locker room, they all take a bath before they head out. So you could say, ellos se bañan. Ellos se bañan. All right? So keep that in mind that we have to use me, te, se, nos, and se right in front of that verb whenever we're indicating that we do something to ourselves. Okay? That we do something to ourselves. Otherwise, it's going to imply that we are doing something to somebody else. And, well, maybe you want to, but it just depends what it is that you're trying to say. Okay? So, repiten conmigo. Yo me baño, tú te bañas, él se baña, nosotros nos bañamos, ellos se bañan. Okay? Again, I know this might be kind of like a foreign concept to us, but we've got to use the me, te, se, nos, and se when we are conjugating these verbs. Those have to be there. Now, some of you might be thinking, could I get rid of the yo? You sure could if you wanted to, because me baño is completely obvious in that it refers to me, that I am taking a bath. Or te bañas, you can use the tu, you don't have to, you can get rid of it, because te bañas could only ever mean you take a bath. Alright? Now down here, if I say se baña, well, okay, if you don't give me a little bit of context, I'm not going to know if you're saying that he takes a bath, she takes a bath, whoever, Robert takes a bath, Susan takes a bath, my wife takes a bath, your husband takes a bath, whoever. So you have to let us know, are you talking about él, ella, Robert, my wife, your husband, whomever. We've got to be a little bit more specific there. You don't have to say nosotros, you could say simply nos bañamos. And down here with the last one, all right, se bañan, again, that just means that a plural group is taking a bath, not necessarily together, so don't get crazy. But if you don't let me know who that is, I don't know if you're saying the students take a bath, I don't know, the brothers take a bath, whatever. Robert and Andy take a bath, Amy and Cindy take a bath. Again, that does not imply in Spanish together, okay? So just